Welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmine Starry and I share scary stories from Reddit. And this one is called The Devil Wears a Suit. Hello, I recently started seeing a guy, and while we were sitting on the couch, chatting casually, our attention suddenly turned to the other side of the room. His phone had just slid across a flat surface on its own. He mentioned that he swears his house is haunted and started telling me about weird things that had been happening. So one thing led to another and we started swapping ghost stories. I was not expecting him to tell me one of the most chilling stories I've ever heard. This story took place back when he was in high school. His parents were out of town and he had a buddy over. They were drinking and hanging out. Later that night, his friend went home, and his high school girlfriend called the house saying they needed to talk and that she'd be over soon. He said he was sitting on the couch when there was a knock at the door. He got up, opened it, but no one was there. Confused, he went back to sit down. Out on the corner of his eye, he saw a shadow move. When he turned his head, he said he was met with a man in a suit and tie, just smiling at him. While he was staring at this man, standing right in front of him, there was another knock at the door, and it snapped him back into reality. He answered it, and this time it was his girlfriend. He told her what he just seen, but she didn't believe him. Later, he told his grandmother what happened. She only spoke Spanish, and since he didn't speak it very well, he tried explaining in broken English. Before he could even finish, she started repeating, that's the devil, and then told her own story. Back in Mexico, where she lived, there's a nightclub she and her friends went to one night. They met a very handsome man and charming at the bar, wearing a suit. One of her friends whispered that something felt off and told her to look at his legs. She said one leg was thin like a chicken's leg, and the other leg was curved like a goat's leg. One of the women was smitten with the man, so the grandmother and her other friend went to the bathroom, leaving the girl with him. In the bathroom, they heard screaming, and when they came out, the bar was on fire. It burned to the ground, and the friend and the man were never seen there again. So now I'm wondering, has anyone else ever heard stories about the man in the suit? Someone responded, I've heard a similar story from my dad, so it might be an urban legend. Back in the 1960s, my dad said that in Mexico they banned the song Mambo No. 5 or Mambo No. 8 by Perez Prado. Reason for the ban was because a really beautiful woman was at the nightclub, but none of the guys were paying attention to her or weren't her type. So she said to herself, I wish the devil would appear so I could dance, or something like that. Right after she said that, a well-dressed man in a suit appeared in front of the nightclub, and all eyes were on him. He went straight to her and asked for a dance. Mambo No. 5 or No. 8 started to play, and as he danced, people started to notice the man's shoes had turned to hooves, and they started to levitate towards the ceiling. As they went up, she started to freak out and try to grab onto the wooden rafters. She had dug into the rafters with her fingernails so deep that it left scratch marks on the wood. She screamed and immediately fell to the floor and died. Supposedly to this day, you can still see the marks in the club. Now I looked it up online and it said that this happened in TJ, but my family is also from Jalisco. So this is why it's probably an urban legend. I do believe in the paranormal though, because I had so many crazy things happen to me. So I did a Google search on Google to ask if Mexico banned the song Mambo No. 5 or Mambo No. 8. And the answer is no, the song Mambo No. 5 or Mambo No. 8 was not banned in Mexico. The legend of the ban likely stems from the exile of the original Mambo king, Perez Prado, from Mexico in 1953, which was related to a contract dispute rather than music ban. The ban myth was a common urban legend. No credible sources indicate that either the original Mambo No. 5 or Lou Bega's 1999 version was officially banned in Mexico. And the source of confusion probably stems from the 1959 exile of Cuban musician Perez Prado from Mexico.